In this episode, we look at the realm of likely possibilities. Get excited because this is Tiny Leaps. Big change. Welcome to another episode of Tiny Leaps, Big Changes, where I share simple strategies you can use to get more out of your life. My name is Greg Clunis, and in this episode, we are looking at a concept I recently sort of started thinking on, and it's based on a lot of reading that I've done over the years. It's based on a lot of sort of what is in popular culture, and it is sort of a reaction to a term or a quote that I hear pretty regularly, and for good reason. We're sort of going to talk about that and sort of why that is a common thing to say, but then I want to break down my sort of response to that and this idea of the realm of likely possibilities. Now, is this going to be brand new information for many of you? Maybe not, but it might help spark a different way of thinking about your life and your position right now. And by position, I mean where you are in relation to your goals, where you are in relation to the things that you want to see going forward through the rest of your life. So this should be a pretty good one. I'm super excited about it. And before we jump into the episode, let's talk about today's sponsor. We all know how important our mental health is when trying to make big changes in our lives. Simply put, without taking care of our mental and emotional health, we won't be able to take the tiny leaps we need in order to move forward. That's why today's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp is the world's largest counseling service. It's 100% online and has helped 759,000 people just like you. With BetterHelp, you can get the support you need easily. Simply make an account, answer a few questions to be matched with the perfect counselor, and you're good to go. You can speak with your counselor in whatever way you want via text, chat, phone, or video sessions. And you can get the help you need exactly when you need it by messaging your counselor anytime, anywhere, or scheduling a live session at a time that's convenient for you. Every counselor is licensed, professional, and thoroughly vetted, so you can breathe easy knowing that you'll get the help you need. So take control of your mental health in 2020 by going to www.betterhelp.com/tinyleaps. That's www.betterhelp.com/tinyleaps. When you sign up today, you'll get 10% off your first month. So head over to betterhelp.com/tinyleaps and get started right now. All right, so the realm of likely possibilities. What exactly is this? Well, it all sort of started with this idea, this quote that I hear all the time. And it's not a direct quote. There have been millions of different ways of saying it, but this idea in the United States especially, and I'm sure around the world, that anything is possible, that if we put our minds to it, we can do whatever we want, right? And while there is truth to this, I think that there is another part of the sentence that often isn't said, right? And so what I think the quote actually should be is that anything is theoretically possible, but some things are more likely than others, right? Some possibilities are more likely than other possibilities. And which possibilities are more likely or less likely is sort of based on where you are starting. What is the point that you are at? Something that I've used to sort of talk about this in the past without fully realizing it is the idea of a video game. So I've mentioned in the past, I'm a gamer. I played a lot of World of Warcraft and RPG and MMORPG type games growing up. And one of the concepts in them is the idea of a skill tree. So what a skill tree is you start off at the top, or sometimes it's at the bottom, but you start off sort of at the beginning, and you've got one skill point, right? And so you can spend that skill point on gaining a new skill. And that skill, because it's the first, will be maybe not as powerful as the skill that you can buy when you get to level 80. But you have to start there. And then you have to go down and sort of make decisions along the way of which skills you're going to buy. And then that leads to other parts of the tree that could only be unlocked if you took that path. And eventually you get down to those higher level skills through the path that is more or less unique to you and the choices that you made. Now, the same concept can be applied to our own lives. We are starting wherever we are starting, right? So in the last episode, I talked about being empathetic with our goal setting in the LEAP goal framework. Well, we need to do that more than ever. We are starting somewhere. Doesn't matter where. Maybe some of us have more advantages than others. Maybe some of us are struggling more than others. Wherever you're at is where you are starting. That is the starting line. Now, you need to spend your points. So as you are taking action, as you are making progress, as you're growing, as you're becoming better, you're learning new skills, you're gaining new wisdom, you are better understanding the world around you, you're making new connections, and all of these different things expand your possibilities. So maybe wherever you're starting right now, that outcome, that goal that you ultimately want, that thing that you're trying to create for your life feels impossible. It feels like there's no possible way I could do this. Like this is too far. And the truth is, where you are now, it is impossible. There is a journey along the way. I say this all the time. The reason that you cannot accomplish a goal is because you have to go on the journey to become the person who can accomplish it. You learn things, you gain things, you figure out who you are and find the people who can help you and find the resources and pick up the tools. But you have to go through that journey. Otherwise, the goal can never be accomplished. Every step you take on that journey, every new skill you add in that skill tree, opens up new opportunities that weren't there before. Every friend that you make opens up new doors that weren't there before. And now your realm of likely possibilities has expanded. And so there are, in my opinion, 4 states to the realm of likely possibilities. There is first the impossible. These are the things that are just out of your reach. They're too far and you are too disconnected. You cannot see the roadmap to them because there's so many twists and turns along the way. This is that first layer of the skill tree. That level 80 skill is out of your reach. It is impossible for you to even conceive of using. If you couldn't clearly see it in the video game, you wouldn't even know it was an option. You wouldn't even know it was a thing because it's so beyond your potential right now. Then the second stage is what I call the unlikely possible. These are the things that they are a stretch. They are a reach. They are difficult. They are hard, but you can see the potential. You can see how doable it might be. You can see a technically possible approach to making it happen. These are those stretch goals that you're really shooting for that are going to take a ton of work and might end in failure and very likely will end in failure. But every now and then could end up in a massive win. So they're not impossible, but they are a stretch. Then you have the third step, which I call the likely possible. These are the things that will take a little bit of work. It is still possible to fail them. It is still possible to not do well at them. But if you put in the work, if you show up, you will likely accomplish it. If you are willing to actually try, you will likely accomplish it. And then the fourth step of the realm of likely possibilities is what I call the certainly possible. These are the things that very often you're currently doing. These are the activities and behaviors, the things that you think of right now based on where you are at. These are the things that you know for a fact you can do. You know for a fact are possible. Now, when you look at the 4 stages of the realm, the impossible, the unlikely possible, the likely possible, and the certainly possible, when you look at these 4 pieces in relation to your personal growth, you neither want to be aiming for stage 1 nor stage 4. You don't want to aim for the impossible. That is a dream, not a goal. That is not something you can roadmap. That is not something you can identify which activities will help you accomplish. It is something that maybe one day will be possible if you take the right steps and focus on making progress. And as you go through that journey and expand your realm, Maybe that becomes possible one day, but right now it is impossible. Right now it is not, it's not ambitious to make this massive goal that you're going to fail. That's just a recipe for quitting. And while some of you might have the grit to keep going, the majority of people do not. The majority of people have kids to raise. The majority of people have rent to pay. The majority of people are stressed out of their mind every single day. And guess what? They just aren't going to keep going if they keep failing. And so we need to stop in the personal development industry telling people to shoot for the impossible. No, that is a dream. Shoot for something that is possible. And then eventually the dream becomes possible. That's how this works. And on the flip side, we don't want to aim for the certainly possible, because the certainly possible is our comfort zone. The certainly possible is the stuff we know for a fact we can accomplish. We know for a fact we can do. And that doesn't push us in any way. That doesn't force us to stretch in any way. That doesn't allow us to grow and change and be better in any way. We need to try. We need to work hard. That is what the journey is. If you go on a journey and take every single possible precaution to be as comfortable as possible and never have to stretch yourself, you will end that journey as the same person that you were. And that person was not able to accomplish the goal. You want a journey that forces you to stretch just enough that you are forced to grow without snapping. And so where you want to be for your personal growth, for your personal development, as we relate this back to the realm of likely possibilities, is in one of those middle steps. You want either the unlikely possible or the likely possible. In the unlikely possible, we will be forced to stretch further than we ever have before. It will hurt, but we hopefully will not snap. Is it still possible we fail? Absolutely. In fact, it's more likely that we fail, but it's within our reach. We can see it. It's a distant island, and we have no idea how we're going to build the ship, but we can see it. We know it exists, and we can push towards it. And in the likely possible, we know that this is something that if we show up, if we work hard at, we can accomplish. And so what we want to do in our goal setting, in our day-to-day lives, in our action taking, is to create a healthy mixture between the unlikely possible as our stretch, as the thing that is forcing us to grow and be better, and the likely possible as our discipline, as the thing that is forcing us to show up every day. If we can build that balance into our day-to-day lives, we create growth, we create progress, and that forces us to move forward every day. It's not that everything is possible. It's that everything is technically possible, but some things are more possible than others. I hope this episode was valuable to some of you. It's a concept I've been playing with for a little while. I'm sure there are many similar ideas out there, and if you know of any, please share them with me. I'd love to do some additional reading and learn from other people as I learn more about this concept. So please share any resources you have with me. I'll be sure to share it with the rest of the community, and I would love to connect with you. So if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for being here. Drop a comment down below. Let me know you are here. And while you are here, be sure to click subscribe, click the little like button, the little thumbs up thingamajigger, and click the bell to make sure you never miss a new episode. And if you are listening to the audio of this, thank you so much. You are amazing. But join us over on YouTube. See what the space looks like. See what the podcast looks like. See what I look like. Many of you are shocked when you find out that I'm black, and that should not be the case. So join me over on YouTube so that you'll know for a fact I am, in fact, black. And I'd love to have you there. So head over to youtube.com/Greg Clunis. Connect with us there. Keep listening to the audio. Thank you so much. I've been Greg Clunis. And remember that all big changes come from the tiny leaps you take every day.